Welcome to the third video on how to use Zotero, and specifically now we're going to look at how to cite using SBL in a Word document. If you're using Pages, it would be a little different, and I'm sure there's a tutorial online for that, but I'm just going to do Microsoft Word. So in order to use Zotero, you need to have it opened. So opening Zotero, and now we're going to launch Microsoft Word. We're going to open a blank document. And so here we are with our new document, and let's say we're writing on something about the kingdom of God or whatever in Genesis. So Genesis begins well, something like that. Now, I actually have created a shortcut, so I just do Control-Alt-A in order to cite. But if you did want to do it manually, you can just click Add Citation either way. So the first citation you do asks you what format you want. Make sure SBL, Society of Biblical Literature, which we talked about in the first video, how to install. Make sure that's installed. Make sure it's used with these settings. Do not click this. You want to use your own journal abbreviation. So clicking OK. So now it brings up this. And if you already inputted sources into your Zotero here, then all you need to do is just search the name and it'll pop up. So I want to cite Matthew's, and I have one on Leviticus, one on Genesis 1 to 11, and I have a second commentary listed twice. I have a duplicate that I should get rid of. But I want to cite this one, so I click on this, and whoops, I don't want to do that. Where'd my thing go? Here it is. So I click on this, and then I can click what pages I want to cite. Let's say I want to cite pages 1 to 5 because that's where he talks about Genesis beginning well. Click enter and it's good to go. Now alternatively, you can also type in, oops, I'm going to delete this. You could do it Matthew's and type in the pages just right after it and select the source, and it automatically cites it for you that way. So that's a super handy shortcut. Then you just click enter and scroll down, boom, it automatically formatted the footnote for you. Now that just means you have to have inputted the information correctly in order for it to format appropriately, but you have Kenneth Matthews, Genesis 1 to 26. Everything is formatted correctly here. Excellent. So then we go on, talk about more stuff. I need to cite again, so I'm going to cite Kaiser on more stuff, and I have a lot of his sources in here. Let's do the one we looked at last time, God's Promise Plan and His Gracious Law. And we're going to cite page 230 of that one. And click that. So we go back down. Notice that it's also cited appropriately here. Has the abbreviation is given as appropriate, etc. Now here's the handy thing about Zotero too, is it automatically knows if you've cited something before. So let's say I wanted to cite Matthew's again. So I'm talking about Genesis is awesome. And then I add and I look for Matthew's. Zotero automatically knows that I've already cited him, so it gives me that as the first option, which is awesome. And then so I just put page 34, select, boom, enter, it's cited. And look, it uses the abbreviated title in appropriate format. It doesn't use those things. So that's really helpful. If I cited him again, we'll just do Matthews again, says, ... hi. And then we'll do that. I'll bring up the citation again. And if I cite Matthews, we'll do 50. Oops. Yeah, there we go. Now notice it says the I bid as well because it knows it comes right after. Now, if I was to rearrange these things, Zotero would automatically rearrange the citation too, which is really helpful as you're editing your papers and if you're deleting paragraphs, taking them away, etc. Now, let's do one more. Dumbrell also agrees that Genesis is good. And I go up here, add citation, Dumbrell. He's the one I also looked at earlier. Let's cite. I can't even remember what pages they are. I don't think it matters. We'll do page 30. And we go, notice how how it cites it appropriately here as well. Edited by Scott Haferman, page 30, and it gives the chapter title. So Zotero does all the work for you. That's super handy. But of course it relies on the fact that you actually inputted the sources ahead of time So if I was citing something and I wanted to, and I didn't have it in, let's say citing a new source or something like that, and I didn't have it here, I could just press the escape button, add it in here, and then come back and cite it, and it would be good to go. So you just only have to input it once, and then after you put it in there, it's in your system, and you can always refer to it whenever you need to. So there's a little bit of work up ahead, but it makes everything really worth it in the long run. So anyway, hope that's helpful, and if you have any questions, let me know.